Hello and welcome to this week's Glasstire Top 5. It is the week of September 17th, 2020. I'm Brandon Zech.
I'm Christina Rees.
And we are counting down the top 5 shows in Texas. All of the ones on this list are actually, you can go and see in person this time around. So some of them are opening, some of them have been up for a little bit. We are actually on site in one of our picks, but more on that in a second.
Number 5 on our list this week is at the Old Jail Arts Center in Albany, Texas. It's one of our favorite spaces in Texas. This show is Basil Clemens, Witness to a West Texas Boomtown. He was a photographer in the earlier part of the last century, and this collection is actually belongs to the University of Texas at Arlington Library. They have over 5,000 of his photographs, but he photographed what is essentially what we would think of now as like old weird America. Circuses, traveling shows, and also the oil boom at the time. He was from Texas, he left Texas, he came back with a traveling circus and stayed when he realized that his Seattle studio had burned.
Yeah, it caught on fire. There's no reason to go back. You're in Texas now.
Yeah, so he stayed in Texas in Breckenridge and he took a lot of photos. And remember that the oil industry was just really starting up around that time and in around that region, which is just kind of not too far west of Fort Worth. See a lot of very strange old circus pics, but also just pics about, life in and around that time. Again, old weird America. It is very much a disappeared place. Does not exist anymore. Very cool to be able to see this in Albany, Texas at the old jail.
Number 4 this week is at Valley House Gallery in Dallas. This is a great gallery if you've never heard of it. It's a little outside just the core center of Dallas where a lot of other galleries are, but it is worth the trip. This is a show called On Being Human. It opened at the end of August. It's going to be on view through October 31st. And this show, it's some artists from their stable, it's some artists who've been brought in, but it's all figurative work. So kind of like everyone has been saying over the past 6 months, we've realized how much we need human interaction and how important humans are in our lives, especially since many of us haven't had a lot of human interaction. So this show is capitalizing on that, and it's a bunch of different artists in the way that they show the figure. Some of it's a little more abstract, some of it's a little more straightforward. Painters like Cedric Huckabee, who's a Dallas-Fort Worth favorite, James Searles, Mary Vernon, a lot of great artists that Valley House normally shows, but this is just a huge group exhibition that's worth the trip. Number 3 this week, we are here on site at 4411 at Anyaisch Gallery. This is a group show that's been up for a little while since August 1st. It's on view through this weekend, so there's still a little bit of time to see it. It's a show called Cine Sole Cilio. And it features works by 6 artists that show with the gallery. You have Harvey Bott, you have Gao Hang, you have Adela Andia, who makes these wonderful light pieces. You have Katya Loher, which I think the pieces that are in the show are some of the pieces that I really like by her, which employ other elements and kind of incorporate and fold her videos into those elements. There's a really great beehive piece and a bird's nest piece, and many others. We're standing in front of an Orna Feinstein print. She makes these monoprints that are very optic, as you can tell. There's a lot of illusion in them. But this show is about how artists depict nature and how their work interacts with nature. And the title is in Latin.
It's in Latin, and it means "Without the sun, I fall silent." If you have a chance to come and see this show in person before it ends, please do so. It's this weekend. Number 2 on our list this week is at the San Antonio Museum of Art. It is called Latin American Popular Art. One of the reasons it's on our list is because this is a big kind of new reintroduction or debut of their incredible Latin American collection of folk art. 3 years ago, in 2017, there was a very limited but real flood in the gallery where this work was, and so they had to take it out. They've redone the gallery and they've reinstalled it. This is considered a pretty premier collection of Latin American folk art in the United States.
It's more thematic and less based on, is the object utilitarian? Is it functional? Was it decorative? It's more based on themes of life, death, what actually the work is trying to communicate.
So they have dubbed this the Latin American Popular Art Gallery. I think that this will be a permanent place for this collection. It debuted last weekend on September 12th, and it will be up, really it will be up forever, but I mean this particular installation will be up through 2023.
This has always been one of my favorite galleries at the San Antonio Museum of Art, so I'm thrilled to be able to get to San Antonio whenever that can be next.
I know.
And see what this looks like. And number 1 this week is a show that is opening this weekend at the Moody Center in Houston at Rice University. It is called States of Mind, Art and American Democracy. This show, you can tell by the title, it was planned to coincide with this 2020 election, and it's artists who make work about a little bit of everything, about democracy, about the police state, about policing in communities and how that affects certain communities.
Yeah, everything from these large abstract ideas about freedom and equality all the way to specific policy and issues around gun control, voting access, immigration policies. It's a big list of artists. There are Texas artists in this show as well as these sort of national and international names.
People you'd recognize like Chris Burden, Felix Gonzalez-Torres.
Sure, Jenny Holzer, Catherine Opie, but also Adriana Corral is in the show, Margarita Cabrera. Again, some very good Texas artists. It's a big list. It's going to be good. It's going to be pretty bracing. It opens with 2 different socially distanced opening receptions this weekend at Rice.
And it's also going to be on view through December. So it'll be on view past the election, and you'll be able to see it all season.
So that is our list this week. The fall season is heating up again in a way that doesn't feel quite as robust as it has felt in the past, but nonetheless, people are really making an effort and people are ready to go see art. So again, with all of these shows, you can go see them. Just bring your mask, make an appointment if you need to. And with that,
Yeah.
go see some art.
Go see some art.